Welcome to yet another episode of e-learning alphas for the seniors, intermediate, senior English. Today we are going to tell about one of the composition bits included in your topic. I am J. Madan Paul, lecturer in English, Alphos Education Institutions. Welcome to yet another episode. Students, today we are going to look at one of the composition bits given in our textbook. It comes in 5th module of the text. In the 5th module, unit 20, module 5, unit 20. It is describing a process. Students, let me take you to an experience I had last day. You know, my better half, who was to her office, had an urgent meeting yesterday in the evening. I was at home with my kids. What a pity. She was caught up there. It was time for dinner. I had to prepare food. I waited for her. I ran up to her. But she had the urgent meeting and she was caught up. You know, I enter the kitchen as many of you do, only to eat, never to do any work. So, I asked her, what shall I prepare for kids? They are hungry, and I too. Over phone, she told me, she gave me instructions, a set of instructions. Come on, potatoes left there in the kitchen, take them, peel them, cube them, cook. I did as she told. Good God. The final product of my work in the kitchen, the final product of the dish was inedible. Students, you must ask why. The thing is, the instructions she gave I followed, but she was not she did not follow the sequence in the instructions she gave me. She told me to cube them, without washing I cubed them. She told me to peel, I peeled and then cubed. Everything okay, children? But she did not tell me about adding salt, she did not tell me about adding some masala, she did not tell me about adding chili powder, she did not tell me about adding turmeric powder, nothing I added. What was the result? See children, this is a process that every day takes place in the kitchen. And I am totally unaware of it. And it was even, I threw the dish outside, even animals did not touch it. So children, process. In our day-to-day life, we come across a number of processes. The little process that you do for your friends or the little kids at home, maybe making a kite during holidays, flying the kites. But even making a kite has a set of instructions that you have to follow. It has to be sequentially followed. Only then the outcome will be right. The same thing happens here. So today we are going to discuss this particular topic, how we are going to describe a process. Here I give the title. Describing a process. As you know, it's for 4 marks asked in the examination. You will have an internal choice. You have to answer A or B. This is it. A or B. Now children, I have written it as describing a process. Generally, some of you may be science students, some of you may be math students, whatever it may be. This word process is familiar to you, I think. Can you tell me, children, the difference between process and procedure? Process and procedure. and procedure. See, for example, in your biology textbook we have learned digestion process. Do we call it digestion process or digestion procedure? We call it digestion process. Then making a kite, it's a procedure we say. At home, if the fuse wire gets cut, what do? Yes, we wire it again. This is a procedure, not a process. Digestion is a process, digestion process we say. So, difference between process and procedure is when things happen by itself, it is called a process. Digestion is a process. The food that goes in automatically, without our human intervention, without our manual work, it goes on. Then it becomes a process. Whereas in procedure, human intervention is needed. Human hands are needed. For example, you see, another example for process, a sapling, a seed planted, the sapling comes out. It's a process, it's not a procedure. That automatically germinates. Automatically we find, if favorable conditions come, it germinates or it sprouts, then the leaves come out. See, that's a process. Whereas in procedure, human intervention is needed. Okay, I was just trying to make you familiar with the words of process and procedure, whereas here in our language book, there isn't any difference as such. We just look at describing a process here. That's all. Now, what is actually this meant for? In the examination, you are asked to write a short paragraph describing a particular process. There will be 2 questions given. You have to answer 1 out of the 2. In a short paragraph, which naturally, as you know, is for 4 marks meant. Now children, what is a process? How should we write this paragraph is the question. In describing a process, when you are asked to write it in a short paragraph, a process means various points or series of actions written in a sequential way. Please children, this is very important. Series of steps followed in a sequential way. When we follow it in sequence, in a logical way, in a particular order, it gives the final result. If not, the final result will be very bad, as I experienced the last day. So children, this is the most important thing. A task, for the completion of a particular task, various steps are needed. If these steps are correctly, systematically followed, the outcome becomes the best. So, in our day-to-day life, we have to come across a number of process or procedure, and we must be able to tell. See, there are many natural procedures or process we follow in life. For example, brushing your teeth in the morning as you wake up. See, you do it automatically because having the habit of brushing every day, I don't know whether you have that habit or not, having the habit of brushing every day, we automatically do it. But when you want to instruct the little grandson or little nephew or little niece you have at home, what do? Yes, you must instruct him. First, take the brush. Then, pick the toothpaste. Then, see, step by step we say what to do first, what to do next, what to do next. This kind of systematic, logical, sequential presentation of the actions to complete a particular task is called describing a process. Children, hope you understood what I am trying to tell you. It's a set of instructions. See, generally this question in the public exam will be a short paragraph to be written, children. A short paragraph. A short paragraph to be written. But mind it, sometimes you have to be very careful, you have to read the question very carefully. Sometimes they may ask you to write it as a set of instructions. Set of instructions. Instructions. In case you are asked to write in a set of instructions, you shall better number them. Using some bullets or numbers, you can number them and write them down. You have to be very careful in reading the question in the question paper. You know, children, this is question number 16 in the question paper. Under section C, question number 16 in the question paper. Okay, children, now let us see what is the procedure of presenting it in the examination, the presentation of it. Often, children, you might have seen on the TV or the silver screen many a time recipes presented, kitchen program presented. There, if you observe, you can understand how the procedure is followed, how the systematic steps are followed. So this is a wonderful experience that you can have if you watch TV often. In TV, in almost all the channels we've come across this kind of cooking dishes or such program, recipe presentation. So here, let me take one as such we find on the silver screen. Here, preparation of a potato fry. Let us look at how it has to be presented. So let us title it as, always you should write a title, recipe, R-E-C-I-P, recipe for potato fry. For example, take this as, this one shall be taken as the title. This one shall be taken as the title. So always give the title to the describing process that you are presenting in the answer sheet. Give the title as per the question. Recipe for potato fry. Now, various steps to be followed. There are some formalities that we should follow in presenting this in the examination paper. See, first thing, preparation time. How much time does it take to be prepared? Preparation time. See, let's note it down. Preparation time. Almost 5 to 6 minutes it may take in preparing this one. So you can mention that, 5 minutes. Then it is better if you just try to tell for how many persons do we. First we have to prepare, then there is the next thing, cooking time. Yes, how much time does it take to cook? Cooking time. So when a recipe and all given, it is better that you include these points too. Preparation time in the sense, we have to peel the potato, we have to wash the potato, we have to peel it, we have to cube it, we have to, yes, and then other things that we have to add, mixing all these things, all these take almost 5 minutes time. The next is cooking time. Cooking time may be hardly 20 minutes taken, children. Hardly 20 minutes. And you should say, for how many persons do you want to serve it? For how many persons do you want to serve it? If you want to serve it just for 2 persons. Why I say so? Because according to the number of persons you want to serve, the quantity changes. If you want to serve 4, more quantity has to be taken. If you want to serve 2, you have to take accordingly the quantity. So proportional quantity is taken. For this sake, we better mention to serve. For how many persons do we to serve? To serve 2 persons. I just take here the example for 2 persons. See, this is the introductory part that you better write in almost all the recipe preparation or dish preparation. Preparation time, cooking time, if it is to be cooked. So there are certain dishes, recipes that does not need cooking. In that case, you need not to enter that point. Then to serve, this also may be entered. This is the beginning of your describing process. Okay, children, if this step is clear, shall I go to the next step? Yes, we come to the second step. Yes, let me write down this side. After these 3 steps, next thing is ingredients. This is the most important step that has to be written in describing process. Children, if it is for recipe of a particular dish, ingredients we have to write. In case you are making a kite, in case you are doing something else, in that case you may write requirements. Please mind the words. The first thing, if it is a dish or recipe, you write the word ingredients. If it is some other thing, better you include the word requirements. So here, since it is a recipe preparation, it is potato fry preparation, I write the point as ingredients. Ingredients. I told you the other word to be used, the other word used may be requirements, but should not use that word requirements here. Requirement is written for some other case. For example, if you want to send a registered post, or if you want to just apply for a passport, here we look at requirements for taking an account, opening an account in the bank, or applying for your JE advanced requirement. There all we find requirements, not ingredients. If it is a cooking, or if it is a dish, or if it is a recipe, we must include ingredients, children. And so the other word I gave you here is requirements. Accordingly, you have to use the word. Okay, under ingredients or requirements, under this point, what are the things to be mentioned? Yes, what all do we want for the preparation of this particular dish? We must list them down. Let us see, for example, for potato fry, the most important ingredient you want is potatoes. So, the first thing, here you write potatoes, and right side, giving a column, right side, you may write how many or how much quantity. Since these are potatoes, we write how many. If it is something else, we mention the quantity, 100 gram, 50 gram, like this. Whereas here, potato better we count them and number them and take. See, 2 large potatoes, for 2 persons we are serving, no. So, 2 large potatoes, 2 large, and then 1 or 2 things that you want can be mentioned here. Washed, peeled, and cubed. What do you mean by cubed? Cut in the shape of cubes. Peeling, removing its peel, its skin, outer cover. Yes, wash them, peel them, cube them. So 3 words. Please learn these words as such. Washed. See, sequence should be followed. Washed, peeled, and cubed. Yes, children. Washed, peeled, and cubed. See, even a little boy or little girl can, even a student of your age can follow the steps and come out with the best result for your lunch or dinner in the evening. So, 2 large, washed, peeled, and cubed. 2 large potatoes. See, the content is written on left side, the item is written, ingredient is written. Right side you may give the other explanatory words, the quantity needed, etc. See, then automatically for fry, what you want is oil. Quantity of the oil can be either taken in tablespoons or teaspoons. Teaspoons and tablespoon. Difference you know. Teaspoon, tablespoon means small type of, which is used in the tea or tea cup. Okay, tablespoon means the big size spoon we have. Okay, so oil maybe 2 or 3. Okay, I take it 3 as per your wish. 3 tablespoons, we say. Tablespoons. See, I have written the short form here. 3 tablespoons of oil, 2 or 3 tablespoons. Then other ingredients needed are turmeric powder, chili powder, garam masala, or whatever you want as such, to give flavor to your recipe, to add flavor to your potato fry. Mainly turmeric powder, chili powder. One important ingredient we forgot, students. Can you tell me? One important ingredient. Even if all these are added, our fry won't be tasty unless we add, the most important, salt. Oil after, I add turmeric powder. Okay, I don't write the entire here. Turmeric powder. Next one, chili powder. Next one, yes, garam masala. If you want, you can add masala. Next one, salt. Now, how to write the quantities, children? See, turmeric powder, chili powder, masala, salt. Turmeric powder, all these, you can either say half teaspoon, small ones we use there. Half teaspoon tea powder, turmeric powder may be sufficient. Chili powder, I don't give the quantity. You can add it as per your taste. If you like to have it very pungent, very hot, okay, add more. If just add 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon. Here I say half teaspoon. Yes, half teaspoon. Here I say 1 teaspoon. And masala may be a pinch. You say a pinch. What do you mean by a pinch? Children, yeah. See, just taking a little like this with your fingers. If you take a little quantity and add, that much will be sufficient. This is called a pinch. Whereas salt, I don't give any measurement here. I say salt to taste. Students, what do you mean by to taste? As per it adds to the taste, you add it. Even afterwards, after mixing first time, adding a little, if you feel it's not sufficient, you can add again. You can add again. So, I say salt to taste. Children, we haven't come to the paragraph yet. We are just giving the introductory instructions, introductory steps in writing a process. So, I recall, first we write the title, recipe for potato fry, then we write the preparation time, then we tell the cooking time, then we tell the for how many persons to serve. So these 3 steps are necessary when you are presenting a dish or a recipe. Whereas in other preparations, it is not necessary to mention this. Now, the second step is adding ingredients, or we call requirements. Ingredients or requirements. What are the ingredients? All the ingredients you may mention on the marginal side, and right side you may add its quantity. You may write down its quantity. Children, the first steps are completed. So, 2 side, one, see here the main heading, here one side heading, and now follows the next step. Yes, I erase this one and proceed. Next step is method of, now everything is ready. See, preparation is completed. Everything is ready. Preparation is ready. Now, next step is cooking. Cooking. So, this cooking, how is that done? So, let us give the side heading now. Method of preparation. Method of preparation. Children, in the examination, if method is asked to be written in a set of instructions, please number them, list them down as 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. If you are asked to write in a short paragraph, you should write it in a paragraph. A short paragraph. Now, how will we write this method of preparation? Method means method of cooking, method of preparation. That's the meaning of method here. Now children, when we write this method, students, mind it, we must be very careful. Sequence should be correct. Logical sequencing must be done. Till the completion of the task, the same sequence must be followed. In case you fail to, the outcome will be horrible. Outcome will be horrible, children. None can taste it. Yes, if you do that, your parents, when they come, they will be alarmed. It will be quite embarrassing to them to see such a dish. If you follow the sequence exactly, it will be wonderful recipe and wonderful dish, I tell you. Okay, now when you are writing the method, okay, here I try to write in a paragraph. I try to explain it in a paragraph to be written. See, when you begin a paragraph, the first thing is, you should say the first step first. That's the way you have to. For example, what are the things needed? First, oil we have. We must heat the oil in a heavy bottomed vessel. First of all, see, I begin. First of all, see children, I say. First of all, heat oil in a heavy bottomed vessel. Heat oil in a heavy bottomed, certain words like this you must know. Heavy bottomed vessel. Children, see one thing. First of all, this is very important, children. when you are narrating or giving the paragraph in sequence, you must mention the sequence. How do we mention the sequence? To mention the sequence, we must maintain these kinds of words called linkers. We call these linkers. These kind of words called linker. What do we mean by linkers? See, shall I give some examples to you? First of all, or firstly, then after that, now, after some time, finally. See, these kind of words used at the beginning of sentences. Two uses it has. First use is linking. What do you mean by linking? Connecting, relating, connecting, continuation, showing continuation of the sentences in between the paragraph. So in the paragraph, to show the continuation, to show the connection between one sentence and the other sentence, we use these linkers. Okay, first of all. Next, then like this, various words are used. A number of words are there, a set of linkers. You can use these linkers. Once again, I repeat the words. First of all, or firstly, secondly, thirdly, then later, after some time, finally. Such linkers can be used in between. And after every linker, don't forget to have a comma used. Comma used. My dear children, okay? Now, this way you can continue the sequence. Second thing you have to mind here is heat oil in a heavy bottomed vessel. Children, I used the imperative sentence. See, heat oil. I used the imperative sentence. Imperative form of sentence. Children, this is the best method of describing a process. It will be easy for you. You need not be confused of the tense to be used. In which tense shall I? Nothing. You use instruction method, imperative method, imperative sentences, instruction method. Shall I give some examples? In the biology lab or in the chemistry lab, take a test tube. Take a test tube. Add a bit of salt. Now pour a bit of sulfuric acid. See, now, see, like this, instructing someone, the method of instructing, and when you instruct every time, verb comes first. Take a test tube, take. Here you see, heat oil, heat. Add some salt, add. See children, so it is easy for us. We need not to mind the tense and all. See, there is another way, using passive format. Using passive format. Children, that would be difficult for you. That would be difficult for you. When you frame passive sentences, there is possibility of getting grammatical mistakes. So, to avoid this kind of grammatical mistakes, let us go through imperative method in our describing process. Now, passive form, let me say passive voice, following passive voice method. Oil is heated in a heavy bottomed vessel. Oil is heated. The peeled and cubed potatoes are added. See children, it is difficult for you, naturally. Using passive voice may be very difficult to you. So, better follow this easy method, that is instruction method we call, in the right word, imperative sentences. Imperative sentences beginning with the verb heat oil, add potato, like this. Is it clear? Yes, very good. This way you can continue writing the paragraph, you can continue the sentences like this. Every time you don't forget to next add some linkers in between, next after that, later, and at the end you may add finally. This way the process can be continued till we complete the process and our potato fry is ready. Our potato fry is ready. Children, when you write this and complete the paragraph, to add impression to your presentation, on the right side, shall I erase this? Yes. On the right side, you take a little column like here. you can have a pictorial, diagrammatic presentation, non-verbal presentation of what recipe we have prepared. For example, here we have been telling about potato fry. Yes. Here a container can be shown. A container can be shown in which you can show some cubed potato pieces. Yes, fill it with cubed potato pieces. And see, this is freshly cooked recipe. So, down you write potato fry. See, the delicious dish potato fry is ready for you. This, if you can do using a pencil on the right side of the page, I tell it will be very impressive. Just a visual, adding visual effect to the paragraph you have written. This is a technique that you can do. See, while you are writing these ingredients on the right side, you will get a space where you can include this pictorial effect. This will add to the impression of your answer. It takes maybe not more than 1 minute, but you can do it. If you can do this, that will be an added advantage in the examination. I am not good at drawing. You may be drawing it wonderfully. A wonderful dish can be drawn there using pencil better, or better using pencil. Children, okay? So this is all to tell about describing a process. This is all to tell about describing a process. Let me give a recap of what we have been discussing. Students, for the last and final, you can listen to me. I give a recap now. You may write it in a paragraph. If the question is to be written in the method of instructions, then you must number them down, A, B, C, D, or 1, 2, 3, 4, or any bullets you can use and write down. That's another method. But generally the question will be, write it in a short paragraph. First thing, you write a title of the recipe or title of the process may be written in full capital letter, or first letter may be given capital. It is up to you. It can be put in a box like this. You can write it in an impressive way as you can. You can even use some colors to write the title in a beautiful way, and followed by, if it is a dish or recipe, do not forget to write 2 to 3 things at the beginning. Preparation time, cooking time, to serve. To serve means for how many persons. These 3 things may be mentioned. Second step is ingredients. I told you, only in case it is a dish, you write ingredients. If it is something else, you must write as requirements. Please, ingredients or requirements. On the marginal side, you write down the ingredients you need. Ingredients mean only that are added in the dish. You don't write about the vessel, you don't write about the spoon and all. See, these are only requirements. When you are writing ingredients, only the ingredients you may write. What are added to that dish, what are added to that recipe may be added. Oil, yes, potatoes, oil, turmeric powder, chili powder, masala, salt, etc. And here the quantity may be mentioned on the right side. Okay, students? Now, coming to second stage is method. I erased it. Yes, method of preparation. See, when you write the method, you write it in a paragraph. Do not forget to use linkers. Please note down, children. Linkers, link, connect, linkers have to be used. I gave you already examples. First of all, or firstly, secondly, thirdly, next, after that, finally. These kind of words can be used. Again, I give you a tip here. Firstly or first of all when you write, after that you say punctuation mark, comma. Okay, after them you say comma. If you want, in the answer you write, all these linkers can be underlined. If you get time, not compulsory, but you can underline them. What is the use of these linkers? I told you already. They relate and connect one sentence to the other sentence. So there will be a kind of unity cohesive unity for the complete paragraph you are writing. So don't forget to add linkers wherever necessary. Next thing I told, either you use passive voice or you use imperative method. Imperative method is the easiest method I told you. Imperative method is otherwise called instruction method. What is it called? Heat the oil, add salt. See, everywhere I begin with verb. Heat, add, cook for 5 minutes. The same can be used in passive voice also. But it will be difficult for you children. It's up to you. If you are good at, you can. The same sentence I say, oil is heated in a heavy bottomed vessel. Second thing, a pinch of salt is added. It is cooked for 5 minutes. See, everywhere problem of is cooked, was cooked, is added. See, all these will be troublesome to you. I know at this age you are not ready to take risk. So better follow me. Use instruction method. Easiest way. As your instructors in the lab tell you. In the chemistry lab, for example, they say, take a test tube. Take a test tube, add some salt, add a bit of sulfuric acid. See, like this. So this kind of instruction method you may use and complete the paragraph. Then you may ask me how many sentences you need. Children, it is according to the need. If it requires 8 to 10 sentences, okay, but naturally, since it is a question for 4 marks, not more than 8 sentences required. Not more than 8 sentences required. But sometimes number of sentences may vary according to the procedure we have to follow. Don't mind it, okay? And once it is completed, the final touch you give is nothing but, look at this. Your final product is displayed in your answer sheet. Your final product is displayed on the answer sheet. See here, potato fry. Freshly cooked, warm potato fry. Let the valuator enjoy your potato fry and give you full mark for the question. Students, hope you followed me and this bit is very clear to you. Do not worry, this is one of the easiest ones that you can write down in the exam without any difficulty. And let me instruct you one more thing. See, in the textbook, children, we have almost 4 examples given. 4 examples given. 4 examples. Examples in the sense they have been already given there. Even the answer is given there as such. And we have almost 10 exercise questions. As a whole, we have 14 describing process coming in this section of composition. 14 questions. Out of these 14, 2 will appear in your question paper. 2 will appear in your question paper. Any one you have to attempt in the exam. Any one you have to attempt in the examination. Okay, children? Hope this is very clear to you. And it's time we wind up this particular episode of Alpha's e-learning here. Hoping all the best for you, wishing all the best for your exam too. This is Madan Paul signing out. Alpha's e-learning.